Well, it's truly amazing. I'm in a short sleeve shirt. The sun is beaming. There is still snow in that bed right there. Welcome to Mississippi. This is what we do. We go from 20 degrees, snow and ice, 10 degrees, back to 72 outside. Crazy. So today we're gonna be planting, well actually we cleaned the greenhouse out. I'll show it to you. I didn't have my camera with me, so I'll show it to you when I walk back over there. But then we also are gonna be planting this Max elderberries, the ones that we found and conjured up and propagated. And we're gonna plant them in this wet area right here. We're gonna plant sunflowers all right here for the bees, but then we're gonna plant these elderberries here because we already have 2 elderberries here, and this allows it come from, you know, the chicken fertilization coming out of their coop when it rains. So all of a sudden this is kind of where a lot of the yard kind of seeps into. And if you know anything about elderberry, they like to grow in a wild area. They like to grow in kind of a wet area, and they tend to do really well bunched up with a bunch of junk. So we're gonna put them all in here so that way we'll have more stuff growing, more gardens here, chickens here. We think it's gonna work really well. So let's get this planted. All right, Aiden's bringing the last 2. My man's in shorts. Feels good out here, doesn't it? Better. That's right. What? 2 days ago we were sliding, or 3? 3. I mean, that's how close. I mean, this was solid ice just a few days ago. It's unbelievable. All right, so we've got the holes up here by the original 2 elderberry, so we get the you know, basically the benefits of the chicken coop and the runoff. And then these here are on the side of this hill, kind of by the bees. Now you see it kind of goes down. And the reason it does is because we built this ditch here, and this is where we're gonna put some sunflowers. That should help the bees, but really on this side hill, we're gonna let it be wild forage, Mississippi wild forage, which is gonna be our elderberries. And also we're gonna plant some wild blueberries and some wild plums. Some of the things that you normally find in our woods, we're gonna try to propagate and put here next to, of course, our orchard and our new beds there that we're building. So we're putting all the elderberries here. We actually are gonna put them back in their native soil. We're not gonna add any extra soil. Now we are gonna add some Whitney Farms organic and natural all-purpose plant food. All it is a composted fertilization. So we're gonna put that in there just to kind of help them get a kick start. It is late February or mid to late February, so we're wanting to, you know, when you plant, we want them to kind of almost be dormant. Now they've got some greenery because they've been inside our greenhouse, so they actually never really went into full dormancy, but they're still in a good spot where they can get in this soil and really hit it hard for spring. So we're gonna plant the 2 big ones right here because this area we know is doing good. And then we're gonna plant some of the smaller ones all through here. So it leaves us a path with tractor or piece of equipment, and also us walking, but doesn't get in the way of all this either. So let's get them planted. All right, you can see them. Of course, this is grass, but you can see them planted all right here. We didn't want to put them in beds because for us, elderberry grows so great wild that when we put them in the beds per se, you know, like garden beds and things like that, they didn't do as good. The ones that we've just foraged for and the ones that's been just completely wild are the ones that's done the best. So we're gonna go with that mantra and put them in wild areas where there's nothing really growing, as in nothing but grass and just wildlife. So we cleaned up the greenhouse. We'll show you that, but really the point of this video is we're gonna show you how easy and how cheap and how quick you can do a no-till garden without any tillage, without having to worry about grass coming through your beds. We're gonna do it where our old compost was. Now you see there's grass right here. You see we just have some of our topsoil that we have, compost topsoil over here. And basically you can go buy at Walmart, wherever, just buy some good quality soil. We buy organic, which this is a compost that we've already had. But we have some in a wheelbarrow that we just purchased from a big box store. So what we're gonna do to get this ground ready, we're gonna put cardboard paper in and put cardboard on top, soak it down, and dump this. Now, when I say it's that easy to make a no-till bed, it is that easy to make a no-till bed. Run to a appliance store, a furniture store. That's where you can get these big old boxes like I've got. Make sure they're not chemical, you know, they're not hauling chemicals and stuff like that. But literally, Aiden is just to put these boxes down, and you can just fold them out. We're gonna put, and what I do now, if you have a real grassy area, now this is not a grassy area, this is where our chickens were. But if this is a real grassy area, you may want to double your cardboard, because the whole purpose is you want to start building this new bottom base this new earth on top of here. So every year you're going to be adding to this, but you're never going down into the ground. So you're really building a no-till garden in less than like 2 minutes. I think the thick cardboard works better, but you can use this cardboard roll paper or just simply underlayment. This Weed Barrier, I don't think this Weed Barrier works as your main no-till. Let it be your base and then put cardboard. But you really need to get thick cardboard because that's going to do better. So Aiden's just going to soak it down now. That'll help this cardboard lay flat. You don't have to do this. We've done it where we've not actually soaked it down, but to me it does better when it's soaking wet. And it tends to lay down a little bit easier when we start putting the soil on. She's got so much dirt in my boot. And in less than 5 minutes, you have got a no-till bed. You want to be around that 6 to 8 inches depth at least when you start, especially if you're doing root vegetables. Like this is going to be an onion bed for us. If you're doing potatoes, you need about 12 inches or so or more. But you want to add to it. Now, once we get it planted, there's nothing wrong with putting a little topping on it, a little mulch. Go back about buy a bag of mulch, or if you can buy it bulk, go buy bulk. But that's it. Now, what we're going to do, the last thing, just so it's not so packy, and again, this is a no-till, so we're just going to aerate the soil with one of these little cultivators and just simply just roll right over it. And that way it helps loosen the soil even more. It's pretty loose topsoil anyway, but say you have packy soil or a clay soil, just run a little cultivator over it with your hands and you'll be ready to plant. Hope that helps. Me and Aiden plant another bed. Like, we need another bed, right? But it's always good to grow. You see the lettuce is growing. If you're growing lettuce and things like that, I mean, 4 to 6 inches is plenty. But the more soil you have, the better it's going to be able to grow and compost and build a great quality earth soil. Throw some worm castings on here before you plant, make it even better. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.